Let me know if you get the notification. I have taken Do Not Disturb off. You're free to call the number that's on the screen if you have any questions, concerns, things that you want to talk about, something that might need context. Oh, we got one. We got one. We got one, guys. Here we go.
Call from
Jaden.
to accept, press 1.
Jaden, how's it going?
Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up, dude? How can I help?
Yeah, so I've been interested into electronics and developing for a while. Never got into it. I found your channel back when I had like a true passion for like coding and all that. But ever since that, I kind of got out of that passion. And then you started posting more like business, entrepreneur, and corporate cringe and all that stuff. And I was really interested in that, and I still am. And I was just wondering, like, what would be the best ideal business to start right now, especially in this pandemic, that could really just be something that goes through any recession?
Yeah, so I think the most recession-proof business is an OnlyFans, but I'm going to guess you're probably not going to do that. So I think probably, like, I don't know what your skill sets are. I can't say this is the best business to open, because if it was, everyone would open it and it would have no value anymore. Like, what's your skill set?
Well, I'm more of an entrepreneur. I don't code myself, so nothing with developing, but something I'm more into like real estate and more financial kind of thing.
So for like a real estate business, I think most people make money off selling courses about real estate, but I don't know enough about that. Finances, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what business to open based on those skills, because I don't have those skills. Financial auditing, yeah, but that's just, how would you open a business for financial auditing? That's just what your accountant does, kind of, right? Flipper video is so cringe, yeah. Josh, I got a sponsor. How do I make sure they like me and want to use me again? You got to ask them, are you open to a long-term relationship, mainly?
Alan.
Alan, what's up? How can I help? Welcome to the stream.
Oh, first time. I've been a long time lurker, first time caller, and I actually have two questions. One of them is about my particular experience with programming. It's more of what to do with it, because I started with R, doing data science, and then I did a fellowship out in San Francisco, and I had to work with C++. And then when I was talking with a bunch of other developers, they told me that Python was the best to learn first. So I was like, okay. So now I've just been going down the rabbit hole of doing a lot of HackerRank and
why? Like, you got to ask yourself why. Like, what do you want to make? What are you interested in building? That's like, code is a tool. It's not the end. It's not the end product. It's a tool to build products that your company is going to sell. What do you want to make? Like, what are you interested in? What would you want to program?
I definitely want to focus on data science. I did economics in college, so data science is definitely what I think I would like to focus on the most. But I also think web development is really cool too. Like, I made my portfolio website in Flask, and it was a really good time. So, I mean, I like programming overall as something to do, but in terms of finding a job, I'm still confused on what I want to focus on, because I just have a bunch of interests.
It sounds like you can apply to Python web dev jobs and then Python data science jobs, or R data science jobs, if that's what you wanted. But, I mean, it sounds like that's what you would move towards, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you answered that question. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to learn code, you got to figure out what you want to do with it. Why are you learning the code? Do you want to learn code to get a job? Do you want to learn code to make an app? Do you want to learn code to make a startup? Do you want to learn code just because you want to build your friends' like photography website? Like, people say, like, I say learn code. I think it's a good skill to have, but again, like, I barely code, but I code when I need to. Like, if I want to make an app, which I don't have any app ideas, then I'll code. If I want to mess with my website or someone else's website, then I'll code. But like, I think a lot of people are just learning code for the job, and then they find out like they don't want to do it. They don't like it, or that's the industry's too like crowded, and they just want to hire young people that are college grads because they think the young people will work harder and take less money, even, which is probably true. But yeah, you just gotta add, like, you gotta go like 2 steps further. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the big picture? It's probably like, if you're gonna learn to code, what's the big picture? What are you gonna do at the end of the day? Because even if you have a job, like, just like, if you're a junior, if you're a young junior and you get a job and you work your way up. Like your job is a race against time. Every time that the company cuts people, the older that you get, the higher chance that you're going to get cut because there's probably someone that can do your job for cheaper. So like you have to make yourself basically indispensable.
Mm-hmm. And when you say indispensable, like usually is it that in terms of soft skills or just learning of more packages or more languages to the
No.
point where you know basically everything?
No, so there's no point in knowing everything because by the time you knew everything, it would be outdated because everything would change, and then you'd spend that time catching up on being outdated or getting up to speed, and then you'd be outdated again. But like when I say indispensable, I mean like you need to learn the systems of whatever job that you're working at so well that without you, they can't function as good. So like if they were to fire you, you take some sort of knowledge with you that would make it a pain in their butt. So like you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like normally they don't like that. That's why companies are really big on documentation. Companies will be like, you need to document everything that you're coding and why and where and when. It's so that people can't do that, and so that people can't quit and just walk out with like a bunch of proprietary knowledge. But you could still do that. Like just if you know the systems that work better than anybody else, and people are coming to you to ask questions, and you're like the master, then that's what matters. It's not totally just about knowing all the frameworks and knowing all of the different like ways to code. It's like at the end of the day, it's your job and you need code to do your job. But like if you can do your job better than anybody else, that's how you're indispensable. Like so soft skills too.
Yeah.
Orlando.
Orlando, welcome to the stream. How can I help?
Hi. Nice to talk to you. Huge fan of yours. I guess my question, I'll get right to it. I start Lambda School June 1st, and I guess the reason why I'm doing it is because I've tried coding myself with web development using different like Udemy and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I have a hard time with focus, and my fear is that I'll start Lambda School and I still won't be able to focus, or I might get too frustrated. Would you have any advice for somebody who's 35, hasn't really coded much in his life? I do have a plan for what I want to do. I do want to make specific websites, but I guess it's my focus that I'm worried about.
How long can you focus right now? Like, what's your average focus look like?
I'd say maybe about, if I'm sitting down learning something, maybe about 2-3 hours.
Dude, that's fantastic focus. I think that if you're sitting down coding for 2-3 hours, that's amazing. You don't even do that at work. You probably get like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, I think you're going in like really hard on yourself, and like there's a lot of on and off. Just like focusing for 3 hours in a row is like really, really good. I think you'll be just fine, honestly. I think that's amazing. Like, if you think that's low focus, like, then I'm absolute trash. Because I focus for, like, an hour and a half, and I'm like, 2 hours? I'm like, So sometimes it's like 10 minutes, dude.
Oh, wow.
3 hours?
Okay.
Oh, you're a wizard. Give us the how. Teach us.
And I guess just one more follow-up. I don't want to keep too much of your time. As I said, I'm a little older. I turn 35 next week, and I'm just nervous about jobs and how employers might perceive me after Lambda School. I know there's a lot of 19-year-olds, 20-somethings that'll be in the game, so I'm just kind of nervous of whether or not any employer would be interested in hiring somebody my age.
Yeah, for 35, yeah, you're still good. I would say like 50 plus is gonna be pretty difficult because like they're not gonna want to the time it. Okay, so like I guess I would say if you're old enough where the time it would take to get to senior level would put you at retirement age, they're not gonna want to invest that into you, right? Like, so you're fine on that. But like also it depends on your sales ability. Like if you come in with more life experience because you're 35 and you can just manage yourself better, that's also a plus. Like a lot of 18-year-old kids, 21-year-old kids, fresh college graduates, they still don't they don't have life experience. You know, and you're 35, you probably have a lot more life experience than them. You can just carry yourself better. And it depends if you can get across that in the interview and if they care about that in the interview. I think you just have to find the right employer. But I don't think you'll have any issues. And again, you can still make yourself indispensable at the company by just learning the things that only a few people know about, and which means you're going to go have to talk to like the execs and the senior level people, and you're going to have to ask them questions that juniors would never ask. Like, where are we going with this? Oh, I have a product idea. Oh, well, let me get started on that idea and present it to you. Okay, well, now you're the only one working on something else, you know? Like, you're just going to have to, that's how you make yourself indispensable at like any job, is just by becoming buddies with where the company is going. Like, yeah, it's good that you go in and like you do your job all day and like you do that, but also you should have some sort of vested interest in like where the big picture of the company is going. Like, that will make you indispensable, because everyone else is just worried about getting their ticket done, and you're worried about getting the ticket done so that the product is made. But what's next? You know, like, if you can be big picture and small picture, you'll be like 21-year-olds, 18-year-olds, they don't do that, you know?
Yeah. Awesome.
I think
Well,
it'll be
I thank you so I thank you so very much for answering my questions. Yeah, I look forward to watching the rest of your stream, and good luck with everything else. And I definitely want to support you however I can. All right.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I hope it helps. Everyone in the chat says 3 hours is amazing, by the way. I don't know if you see that. You're a wizard.
I'll definitely look at that. Thank you so much, buddy. You have a good day.
Yeah, dude. You too. See ya.
All right, bye.